Today, I would like to focus on some of the important features of academic writing. The quality is the first most aspect of any writing. When you write about history, you need half the same quality as journal writing. They are both similar. When you are writing academic and journal papers, you might consider some of these factors. Both require resources and evidence as well as writing style. Furthermore, the attention of logic in writing is also important. One thing that puzzles me is that there is no clear connection between history and journal writing, but somehow, they are so much alike. It is about 100 years since that great Canadian-born physician Sir William Osler, Regius Professor of Medicine in Oxford, complained about the increasing influence of the pharmaceutical industry on the medical profession. He would be turning in his grave at the way the industry now dominates doctors' prescribing habits. It does this not only by direct and indirect pressure on the doctors themselves, but also by encouraging the public to ask for scripts. Every time you inhale, oxygen passes from your windpipe to your lungs and on into your bloodstream. But what if your windpipe was blocked? Getting the gas straight to your blood could save your life. Wait, put down that syringe. A large air bubble in a blood vessel can kill you. But what if the bubbles were only a few millionths of a meter in diameter? Researchers coated tiny amounts of oxygen gas with fatty molecules to create microparticles. Suspended in solution, the microparticles formed a foam containing 50 to 90% oxygen. In a beaker of blood, the foam was able to quickly transfer its oxygen to the cells. Then the researchers tested it in animals. Normally, a blocked windpipe cuts off the blood's supply of oxygen, leading to brain damage and death. But when rabbits with blocked windpipes received injections of the microparticles, their blood oxygen levels and heart rates remained stable. The work is in the journal Science Translational Medicine. The foam may someday buy time for human patients, so that even someone with a closed airway can breathe easy. Rats and mice provide good examples. They have been transported by man to many parts of the world and now have a far wider range than any other rodent, and they can be found living in the cold climate of the Faroe Islands to the north through the tropical zones to the Falklands in the south. It is possible to see adaptation to any climate as a quality that is part of an inborn flexibility of the physical and mental constitution of most animals. Therefore, the ability to survive in the most different climates by both man and his domestic animals. And the fact that elephants once existed in an ice age while living species live in tropical areas, should not be seen as deviations from the rule, but as examples of this flexibility being brought into action under particular A study in the last 2 years of people entering the workforce out of college showed that 57% of boys entering or men, I guess, are negotiating for salary, and only 7% of women. And most importantly, men attribute their success to themselves and women attribute it to other external factors. If you ask men why they did a good job, they'll say, "I'm awesome." If you ask, obviously, "Why are you even asking?" If you ask women why they did a good job, what they'll say is someone helped them, they got lucky, they worked really hard. Why does this matter? Boy, it matters a lot. Because no one gets to the corner office by sitting on the side, not at the table, and no one gets the promotion if they don't think they deserve their success, or they don't even understand their own success. One way of preventing accidents is to put drugs in closed boxes. Also, parents can firmly close the lid really well. I am sure kids would not be able to reach it. Another problem we find in mismanagement of drugs is how these medicines can be allergic to many people. We have to remember different drugs have different resistance and duration. That is extremely dangerous if someone takes a wrong drug. So what are the ways we can stop this from happening? Well, I suggest we introduce the course, which will primarily improve the misuse of drugs and greatly improve our eves. Migrants make an enormous contribution to Australia's economy and provide an estimated fiscal benefit of over $10 billion in their first 10 years of settlement. Despite legal protection, too many people in Australia continue to experience prejudice and unfair treatment because of how they look or where they come from. Most new migrants say they feel a strong sense of belonging to Australia. The glass ceiling is an idea familiar to many. It refers to the invisible barrier that seems to exist in many fields and which prevents women from achieving senior positions. Less well-known, but arguably a more pernicious problem, is the glass cliff. Originally recognized by academics Michelle Ryan and Alex Haslam back in 2005, this is the phenomenon of women making it to the boardroom but finding themselves disproportionately represented in untenable leadership positions. Ryan and Haslam presented evidence that women were indeed starting to secure seats at boardroom tables. But the problem was that their positions were inherently unstable. These women would then find themselves in an unsustainable leadership position from which they would be ousted with evidence of apparent failure. You can see this pattern playing out everywhere. Some examples are given. When you watch the world, you have to look at the relations within the world. When you understand the world, a few things are in relation to each other. When you study different disciplines, they are related to one another. For example, if we study a family, culture, religion and politics need to be concerned. Without relation, we can't understand population changes. You should fit these disciplines into a larger picture. There's a generation that has grown up reading Yelp reviews, reading Amazon reviews, making their consumption choices based on what strangers on a digital platform say. And so someone who we interact with who comes accompanied by online reviews, a Facebook and LinkedIn profile, and other digital cues seems to be someone we'll trust at the level of friends and family. What excites me about this transition is that through history every time society has created a new basis for trust, it has expanded the economy dramatically.